Monday morning, November 12th, the day after Veterans Day, and it's about 9:30 in the morning, coming into Lindemar, and you see that kind of a smoky mist there. That's exactly what it is. It's smoky mist. It isn't fog today. It's from them fires out there in Chico. But we're going to do something unusual today. We're going to, it's a Monday, and we're going to shoot a video. Here's what we're going for today. I feel lucky enough to catch some striped perch today. And I'm going to do it at Martin's Beach on the north side on the platform. So we're calling that right now. And we'll see what happens. Maybe if we're really lucky, maybe we'll get one of them Greenlings or a rockfish or something like that. But yeah, usually about this point in the season, the first thing that you start hitting is striped perch. Somebody was asking me about the calico. Well, I think calico is still about a month or so away before we see the calico show up. Same thing with somebody. Well, you know, it depends on where you're at, though. Some perch, you know, I don't think there's really too many studies been done on the movements, the life and the movements of the perch, the surf perch, that is. If you go to most sources, most zoological types of sources, and try to find some information on the surf, about all you're going to find is that, oh, they live in the surf and they eat sand crabs and worms, and you know, you won't find too much else about that. But when they're not in the surf eating, a lot of times they're not even there, period. They're somewhere else altogether. And where they go, I think, is something that a study would need to be done in order to figure that one out. I think they probably just go to the local rocks, or maybe they go a little bit out, they go somewhere where there's some structure or some plants where they can hide, like any smaller fish. They're not going to just sit out there in the open like a sitting duck. So, anyways, it's interesting. Things I'd like to do if I had the time. You know, I got about one day a week myself to go fishing. Some folks are a little bit luckier. Oh, I wanted to mention Steve Comalander. This guy, this is my favorite fisherman on YouTube. Steve Comalander. He's from the south, back east. Well, on the east coast, south, somewhat. I do believe that he shoots his shows from the Carolinas. And he does boat fishing on a lake. And I love his show. Love his show. Great fisherman, too. Great fisherman. A guy that truly loves the sport. And so a special shout out today for Steve Comalander, because I was watching a couple of his videos this weekend, and really made my day. So here we go to Martin's Beach. Let's see, we're gonna try to beat this high tide thing. The high tide is about 1:30, so that's almost exactly about 4 hours from right now. And we're gonna go up to that north side, and I've got some dropper loops, different sizes of hooks, all different sizes. I've got extra line to tie to the bottom of the dropper loop, because the biggest thing that happens on the north side of Martin's Beach is you get your weight caught in a rock. So you don't want to, and the other thing you don't want is you don't want any leader coming off of your hooks. You don't want your hooks swinging around, because all it's going to do is it's going to catch some kelp, it's going to catch a rock, it's going to catch the bottom, anything but catch a fish. And so what you want to do is you want the dropper loop with the hooks attached directly to the dropper loops. And then a couple of feet at the bottom of a smaller pound test on my main line, I've got some 25 pound tests. The dropper loop is like 20 or 30 pound test, something like that. But the last 3 feet that goes down to the weight, that is going to be 12 pound test. So if I do get my weight caught and I'm working and I just can't get that weight out of the rock, if the line breaks, it should break right there on the 12-pound test, and I'll keep my hooks and only lose so much of the line. But yeah, that is one of the bummers in fishing rocky areas, is that you will lose some of your hardware. I also brought some sandbags, but I don't put sand in my sandbags. I find it's a lot better if you put some dense rocks in your sandbags, which I already got, by the way. So I got some rocks. I brought about a pound of rocks with me, and about 6 or 7 sandbags. And I got assorted weights. No triangle weights. You don't want to use pyramid weights on a rocky bottom. I got the disc-shaped, what some people call the coin weight. They call a number of things, bullet weights. I also got the kind that are good for casting, torpedo weights, and those don't get stuck too much on rocks because they're so thin. They just find their way straight out of there. So I got numerous different weighting devices and some techniques. I got squid, I got shrimp. I also brought my of course gulp worms, and I brought some of these little wormy type things that they use out there on the lakes for catching crappie. And we're gonna see how those work. I'll show you those when we get out there. But I was looking at those last night, and I'm like, if I put those on the line, those striped perch would go right for those things, like these little wormy things, and they wiggle around real good. So we'll try a bunch of different things out there today, and we're about 30 minutes out from Martin's Beach now. So I believe this is the first time I've come to Martin's Beach on a weekday, and it's not a holiday. Yesterday was a holiday. So we're gonna see if the gate's open, and sure enough it is. There we go, huh? Martin's Beach, gotta love it. Now, if you park out there on the road, I know I've said this in previous videos, but people still ask me the questions, which makes me think they're probably not watching the whole video. But that's understandable when you got a video 47 minutes long. Anyways, here we go. Well, with 3 hours out from high tide, I just saw a rock crab right there. The water is so clear, I just saw a rock crab crawling back into the surf there. Well, this is what it looks like on the north side. You can see I got a little bit of a shelf over there to climb across. And even if it means getting a little bit wet, it doesn't matter. It's worth it. Get out there. I'm going to be all alone. That'll be nice. Do some fishing. So from here to there, it takes about 10 minutes. Let's get moving. Right over here in the lagoon, you got a couple of friendly seals. Guess they're doing their perch fishing, maybe looking for other things. This is where it's going to get a little bit rugged in here. I'll probably get a little bit wet, but hey, I've got feet, I've got legs. Let's go do it. Okay, here comes the rough and slippery part. Let's see how we can make out. Worst comes to worst, fall in the water, we'll send it off to Girl Army Fails. I'm just kidding, but yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Gotta maintain your footing and not worry about the water coming at you. This is the deal here. Don't worry about the water coming at you. Worry about maintaining your footing. And remember, that moss is slippery. So, cannot worry about getting wet. That's how you fall in the water. That's where people make their mistake. You're gonna get wet. You're gonna get wet. Okay. The deal is, you wanna make it. You wanna look down in here and see exactly how much you got there. Got some footing. I'm gonna wait for a smooth spot here. Or as surfers say, I'm gonna wait for my set. But this ain't it right now. It's not much, but this is as big as it comes today, right here. So as soon as this set ends right here, okay. And we'll kind of scout it out here, see what we're dealing with. Well, this is not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. So just wait for it to smooth out. A mistake, well, one mistake would be to go right now. If I wanted to send one off to Girl Army Fail, it's interesting that they got a Girl Army Fail. How come they don't have a Guy Army Fail? I guess nobody wants to see guys falling in the water. But if I do, I'll post it. How's that? If I fall in, I will post it. Okay, there we go. There's our set, folks. And we got to move fast. Well, okay. That wasn't our set. Just wait till it stops ripping like this. And this ain't much of a rip right here. Now, on the way out, it's going to be a lot better because we'll be coming in the afternoon. We'll be coming in the afternoon, and the tide is going to be a lot lower. From 1:30 on, it's going to start going down, and it goes to a much lower low tide this afternoon. I'm just not super familiar with the footing in here, so I'm just going to have to take that as I approach it. Once the set stops, let's see, this is right here when you got a bunch of them like this back to back as you're approaching the high tide. This means it's raising up a couple inches. The whole earth is tipping this way. And here comes the water. Wow. Okay, now this might be our set right here. Okay, come on, calm down. Calm down, water. And the thing I gotta do is lean against that green mossy stuff and look for where the moss isn't and use these gloves here to try to hang on. Yeah. The tide is coming in. I'm starting to see my footpath about half the way down here. I can make it out right now, so if I get a calm spot here. The problem is never to panic and never think, oh, I better go now. There's tons of waves coming in. No. I'm still gonna get a flat spot in here. On a day like today, I'm gonna get a flat spot. So wait. Wait for your set, wait for your flat spot. And then try to keep yourself as dry as possible. One thing I might have done, instead of wearing my Timberlands, is if I was smart, I might have brought my wader boots, because the jeans will dry off. The jeans will dry off. But the leather boots, they take a little bit longer. So you get those wet, you're going to be stuck with wet boots the rest of the day. And that's the chance we're going to have to take, because we want that platform. There we go. There we go. There's our set there. And you see that? It did raise up. Just that one big set there. Woo! That jumped up about 4 inches or so there in height. So we're 4 more inches underneath the water, unfortunately. Okay, let's do this. Okay, you see this lip here? Very slippery. Do not try this at home. Do not try this, period. Okay, here's the flat spot. Okay, I'm already wet. My boots are totally soaked. So we just have to go for it at this point. Just have to go for it and then dry them out when we get there. Move fast before the next set gets in. This is all about 2 feet of water here. Okay? So I'm good here. I'm good here. Too bad about the Timberlands. I hate to get, this is the first time I think I've gotten this much salt water on the inside of my Timberland. But that's okay. That's what YouTube's all about, folks. There we go, we did it. Woo! Oh, okay. So I got just about up to the bottom of my thighs. Now, when I get up here, I can dry my boots out. It's just not a very nice surface for walking around in bare feet. But, hey. You see that there? It's probably still gonna get about a foot higher. Right up where that green stuff is on the top of those rocks over there. Okay, so we did it, folks. We didn't fall in. We didn't ruin any equipment. Boots, well, they come and they go. And leather is durable. I mean, probably won't be as durable as they were before, but a little bit of water on leather, that's the price you gotta pay. The great outdoors. At least I'm still alive. Okay, and the pants will dry off really well. I think what I'll do, one good thing to do is you take off the boots, right? You take off the boots, pull out the insoles, squeeze them out, squeeze out the socks, let them dry. Put the boots on without the insoles, just with your bare feet, so that at least you get the insoles and the socks dry. And then in a couple hours, will you look at this? This will probably be good right here. Nice, nice. And when the water is nice like this, you can see it hasn't jumped up here yet on this tide. All the wetness up here is residual from the previous high tide last night. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Where that water rises up like that and drops down. Now down in here, yeah. Might even try a little fishing right over here at some point today. But what we're gonna go is we're gonna go over to the back side, the very north side of this north plank here, and see what we can do up there. Yeah, so that's all I really needed to do. And next time I will know better. You know, I've been doing this a long time, but you have to be fluid. You have to be willing to learn. That's why sometimes I appreciate some of the comments, the negative comments people make on YouTube. For the most part, it's just people that are trolling the internet and they want to try to give somebody a hard time, see if they can inflame somebody. But comments, experiences like this, you'll have to look at them as learning experiences for the next time. That's all you can do. Be fluid and never think you know everything. But yeah, that's what I could have done. I didn't have to bring the whole, you know, I didn't want to bring the waders, but I didn't think I could just bring the boots. And that's what I'll do next time. The pants will dry out real quick, then I can put the dry boots back on. I'd be in business. All right, so we're going over here to the north side. We're coming up on a high tide. Hopefully some of those striped perch will come up on the high tide and say, hey, let's get some food to eat.